Cat here, your favorite ginger bibliophile. And it's Monday, so it's time for Grimm Tales. But I had to dress the part because by the time this goes up, it might actually be spring. So we have our skulls and our butterflies and a skeleton reading a book on the moon. Probably nothing outside of what's under grow lights will be, blooming, which I really need to make that video because I've actually got some lime blossoms opened in my library now and a few other things throughout the house. So we can have some actual spring on the channel. Yay! But that's not what you're here for today. Maybe Wednesday or something. Because y'all know I gotta do like my happy time Wednesday videos. So, yeah, the puppies, the kitty, the birds, flowers when it starts happening. Something to break up the week and make you happy. But today we're going to read a grim tale of, let's see, what's this one going to be? The Three Sons of Fortune. Something tells me that they're not all going to get fortune. Or that somebody's going to get the shaft and have to get sneaky to get their fortune. What do you think? A father once called his three sons to him and gave the first a rooster. Hey, that's my brother. The second is Sith. Sith, however you say that. One of those Grim Reaper ha things. And the third, a cat. So he wanted the first one to get off their butt, the second one to off some folks, and the third one to get off because they're just gonna get, scratched all their bloods on the outside. Got it. Not a very nice father. I'm already quite old, he said, and my death is near. So I want to provide for you before my end. I have no money, and what I'm giving you now does not seem to be worth much. But everything depends on whether you use these gifts intelligently. Just search for a country where such things are still unknown, and your fortune will be made. Pretty sure just about everywhere knows about cats. And chickens are a very popular dish in most countries. After their father's death, the oldest son set out with his rooster, but wherever he went, the people already knew about roosters. As he approached the cities, he saw roosters from afar, perched on towers and turning with the wind. That's not a rooster. That's a decoration. As he approached villages, he heard several roosters crowing, and nobody found anything remarkable about his bird. One day I'll be able to speak. Maybe, if you're lucky. It seemed as if the oldest son would not make his fortune with the rooster. But finally, he landed on an island where the people knew nothing about roosters and did not even know how to regulate the time of their days. That sounds kind of pleasant, actually. To be sure, they knew when it was morning and evening, but if they happened to wake during the night, then nobody knew how to determine what time it was. Just look at this noble creature, he said. It's got a ruby red crown on its head and wears spurs like a knight. It will crow 3 times during the night to set hours. When it crows the last time, you'll know that the sun is about to rise. But if it crows during broad daylight, you'd better prepare yourself for a certain change in the weather. The people were extremely pleased by the rooster, and they did not sleep a wink the next night so that they could listen and enjoy the rooster, which crowed loudly and clearly at 2, 4, and 6 in the morning to announce the time. Then they asked him whether the rooster was for sale and how much he wanted for it. I want about as much gold as a donkey can carry, he answered. So little for such a precious bird, they all exclaimed, as if in a chorus, and they gladly gave him what he demanded. I thought he just had the rooster. Where'd he get the cute donkey from? I want to pet the donkey. When he returned home with his wealth, his brothers were astounded, and the second said, Well, it's time for me to set out and see whether I can make as much of a profit with my scythe as you did with your rooster. At first, it did not seem he would, for everywhere he went, he met farmers with scythes on their shoulders, just as good as his. That's because he forgot his cloak. However, he eventually reached an island where the people knew nothing about scythes. When the grain was ripe there, they brought cannons to the fields and shot down the grain. I'm not sure how effective that is at actually like collecting it, but it does sound really fun. I kind of want to see that. That was a very uncertain way of doing things. Some of the cannons would hit targets beyond the grain, while others would shoot off the ears instead of the stems. A great deal was destroyed in the process, and over and beyond that, the noise was unbearable. What did it hit when it went too far? Hmm. So the man went out to the fields and began to mow the grain so quietly and quickly that the people gaped in amazement. They were willing to give him anything he wanted for the scythe, and he received a horse loaded with as much gold as it could carry. Now the third brother wanted to see if he could make something out of his cat, and he had the exact same experience as his brothers. The curse of the Grimtail strikes again. Always makes me sleepy. As long as he stayed on the mainland, he accomplished nothing. There were cats everywhere. Indeed, there were so many that the newborn kittens were generally thrown into the water to drown. I mean, I'm a doggy person, but that's so messed up. So sweet little kitten. It can be trained to not be pure evil if you get him early enough. Yes, I know Elaine's gonna get me because she's totally a cat person. And I have had a couple that were sweet. And then we have, JB, who's usually sleeping up here, and he was sweet when he was bottle fed. Now he's a butthead when he's conscious. Therefore, he sailed to an island, and fortunately for him, it happened that nobody there had ever seen a cat before. In fact, the mice had multiplied so much that they had gained the upper hand. They could dance all over the tables and benches, whether the master was home or not. Yeah, CJB is useless for that. He doesn't know how to dog or cat. He's lucky he's cute. The people complained a great deal about this plague, and even the king in the castle did not know what to do about it. There were mice squeaking in every corner and gnawing whatever they could lay hold of. Once the cat began to hunt them, she was soon able to clear out several rooms in the castle. That's gonna be one stuffed kitty. So the people begged the king to buy this miraculous creature from the kingdom. The king gladly gave the third brother what he demanded, and that was a mule loaded with gold, and he returned home with the greatest treasure of all. See, now if he wasn't a butt, well, if the whole town wasn't, if they weren't killing the kittens, he could have been like, here's a couple of them so they can start breeding and really take care of your mouse problem, because one cat is not going to clear an entire, island. Not as quick as the mice are going to reproduce. That's what you get for being stupid and evil. You could have gotten a lot richer. You just had to save the lives of some kittens. The cat continued to have a great time hunting mice in the royal castle, and she killed so many that it was impossible to count them. Finally, she became hot from all that work and got thirsty. So she stopped in her tracks, turned her head, and cried out, "Meow! Meow!" Upon hearing these strange cries, the king and his entire court became so terrified that they all ran out of the castle in dread. I've seen that happen. That's part of how JB got a home was he, meowed and sneezed and scared the crap out of my tough co-workers. So I had to bring him home. When they were outside the castle, the king held a council meeting to determine what measures should be taken. At last, it was decided to send a page to the cat to demand that she leave the castle and be removed by force. Ungrateful, prick. The counselor said, "Since we're accustomed to the mice, it would be better to be plagued by them than to surrender our lives to such a monster." Do they not know about, string and crinkle balls? So the page went to the castle to ask the cat whether she would voluntarily evacuate the castle. But the cat, whose thirst had become even greater in the meantime, merely answered with The page understood that to mean not at all, not at all, and he brought the reply to the king. Okay, he's not 100% wrong, because you're never going to win a fight with a cat. I would know. I tend to win. Well, said the counselors, she shall have to yield to force. Cannons were brought before the castle, which was soon set on fire by a barrage of shots. When the fire reached the room where the cat was sitting, she jumped safely out the window. However, the besiegers did not stop until the whole castle was leveled to the ground. So they were overrun by mice, bought a single cat, and were so stupid that they destroyed the castle. So now the king is justifiably homeless. Yeah, they kind of got what they deserved because they were all kinds of stupid and evil to that poor kitty and well, cats in general. So, yep. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed that one, and I will see you soon. Bye. Happy reading.